everyone, Christina here. Welcome to day 3 of the holiday card series for 2014. Today I'm going to be using the stamp set from Paper Smooches called A Blessed Christmas, and I'm going to be using that little kind of city scene up in the top corner. I wanted to create a night scene with sort of a gradient of colors. I wanted the nighttime sky to be really beautiful. So I went online and I Googled just sky images, and I found lots of examples of different colored sky. And I found one that I really loved and then used that as inspiration to pick out some distress ink colors. So the colors I'm using today are Antique Linen, Victorian Velvet, Seedless Preserves, Chipped Sapphire, and Black Soot. And I just started with the lighter colors and then gradually moved to the darker colors. I'm using a Ranger mini round blending tool with all of these mini distress ink pads to bring in color onto this piece of Neenah Solar White 80-pound cardstock. And the thing that's kind of fun about adding all these colors on and getting them kind of fading into each other is that you can really pick whatever color you want. So if you wanted something that was a little bit more like reds and oranges to make an autumn sky or anything like that, you absolutely could do that. You just have to change the colors out and then you can make them whatever you'd like. So I did notice that I wanted to go back and do some lighter colors, but all of those darker inks had sort of been blended out onto the craft sheet. So I cleaned that off before I went back to the lighter shade, and I wanted to add in some more Antique Linen because the yellow was looking a little bit too faint. So I just added more of that really pale yellow on, and I added that on until I got it to the point where I liked it. And then I set that aside to dry for a little bit while I cleaned up my work surface and got ready to stamp the city scene. I'm using VersaFine Black Onyx ink, and I stamped that near the bottom because I wanted to make sure I still got a little bit of that yellow at the very bottom. And then I took a Memento Tuxedo Black ink pen or marker, and I just filled in that area below the city scene. I wanted it to look like a complete silhouette, so I filled that in. And these black colors didn't match quite as well, so I did end up coloring in onto the buildings a little bit just to make it blend a little bit better. I then heat set this with my heat tool just because distress inks take a long time to dry, and I'm going to emboss the sentiment on it, and I wanted to make sure that the embossing powder wouldn't stick. So I did a test run to make sure that embossing powder wouldn't stick, and it seemed to be okay. I then applied some powder with an EK Success powder tool. The powder tool just cuts down on any of those areas that might still be a little bit wet, or the static cling from, just anything that would attract the embossing powder. I stamped Oh Holy Night from the same stamp set, and then I turned the block over and put the star on the other side and stamped that in Versamark ink as well. I sprinkled on some Hero Arts white embossing powder and making sure to shake off the excess. And then I heat set that with my heat tool until everything was melted. And once it was melted and cooled off a little bit, I was able to wipe my hand over that top area and get rid of any stray powder from that powder tool. So I trimmed down my inked piece, and I'm going to put it on some white cardstock as a card base, scoring this at 5.5. And the cardstock I'm using is Basil Marshmallow cardstock. It's a really nice sturdy base for a white card. Put some foam adhesive on the back of that inked piece, and then put that right onto the card front. I wanted it more off to the left side, but a little bit away from the edge. I just got that position just right and then pressed down to make sure it adhered. I rounded the top right corner with my 1/2-inch corner rounder on the We Are Member Keepers corner chomper. And then I brought in a white gel pen. This is a Jelly Roll white pen. And I wanted to add some additional stars to the very top of this scene. I could have left it the way it was, but it still looked a little bit empty. So I just started adding some little dots and making my own little star pattern. Some dots are a little bit larger than others, and some are just really itty bitty, but I just wanted to get those on there to complete the scene. So after I put all of those dots down, that was the card. That finishes up the card. Hope you guys enjoyed today's day 3 for the holiday card series, and I will be back on Monday for day 4. Thank you so much for watching till the very end of today's video. Here are the day 3 videos from the previous years of the holiday card series. So go ahead and click on any of those if you'd like some more holiday card inspiration. Like usual, you can visit my blog at kwarnerdesign.com, and please give this video a big thumbs up. That lets me know you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.